Sure. So it's John Callery, Callery, John. I'm the special agent in charge of DEA San Diego.
Great. So, we're quite captivated with a video we saw from what you're calling the second largest border meth bust in history. I mean, it looked like something out of Breaking Bad, really something we haven't seen in a while. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so this is, Mario, this is a cooperative effort between DEA, CBP, HSI, and our great state and local partners here in Southern California. As you know, and as everyone watching this knows, methamphetamine has been a problem in the Southern California area for a long, long time. Only over the last 3 or 4 years has it creeped into the East Coast, but we've always had this issue, and it's always been the #1 drug that causes us problems here in Southern California. So this was a big step and a great hit for DEA and our other partners here in Southern California.
When you see a bust of this size, what's your takeaway on that? What's your impression on the impact of the amount of drugs moving across the border and what you've been able to stop?
So Mario, what we take away from this, we just recently had a similar seizure up in the Los Angeles area in Ventura, California. And we've also seen an uptick in pongo boats moving drugs and illegal aliens into the Coronado area and up along our coast on the beach side there with Mexico. So it seems to us that there's a bit of desperation for cartels to try to get methamphetamine and fentanyl into the U.S. We believe some of this has to do with the COVID-19 response and the borders limited the ability for limited entry into the border. As you know, the border has been, it's up to capacity of 30–40% of what it used to be. So it's much more difficult for them to traffic the traditional way. So we see them stockpiling and bringing larger amounts across in one shot. But that's our thesis right now. It'll take a year to figure out if that was correct or not, but we go off of the information that we currently have at hand, and that's kind of what we see right now.
With the intelligence that you have, with a bust this size that you've been able to stop, does that give you any indication of what you haven't been able to stop?
Mario, that's always the question, right? What percentage of drugs are we interdicting? We know in the past that the numbers are not high. Unfortunately, it's very easy for the traffickers to get it right often. We have to get it right every time. So, cases like this, these are cases that are built off of intelligence and great work by DEA and our counterparts in Mexico and here on the border in San Diego and Los Angeles. So what does it tell us? It tells us that larger amounts are coming across, and it's probably COVID-19 related at the border. We know that methamphetamine prices have skyrocketed in Southern California. What used to be $500 is $1,800 now. So that's a supply and demand problem, right? We've always said when the price goes up, that means there's a supply issue. So right now there's a supply issue. But remember, all of these drugs that cross into San Diego, they weren't staying here in San Diego. They were for onward departure to the rest of the United States.
And also the type of drug. For San Diego, is this an indication that meth is one of the bigger problems in our area, or is it still, relative to marijuana and cocaine and those other drugs?
No, methamphetamine's always been our #1 issue here. We talk a lot about fentanyl overdose deaths, and we ask the public to be smart and don't take fake oxy pills, fake oxycodone pills, which we call M30s, which are fake oxycodone pills coming out of Mexico. And we talk about those overdose deaths all the time, but the reality of it is about 3 times more many people die here in San Diego of methamphetamine overdose deaths. So it's always been a problem. I started in this job in Los Angeles in 1992. Methamphetamine was a problem in 1992, and it's never gone away. So our #1 focus here in San Diego has always been methamphetamine. But, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. We have lots of folks doing various investigations. At any time here, we may have 50 to 120 investigations ongoing. They're not all methamphetamine, but it is our focus because we know what the supply and demand issue is for the community of San Diego. But here in San Diego, we have to wear two hats, right? We have to be responsible as an agency for the community and working with the chiefs and our local federal partners in ensuring the safety of San Diego citizens, but also we're a border town. Those borders, you know, in Imperial County and here in San Diego County, they're responsible for about 70% of methamphetamine entering the United States. So it's our job to wear the bigger hat to protect the United States in general as well.
And as far as the manufacturing goes, is more of that being done now on the other side of the border?
Yeah, the vast majority, Mario. The Breaking Bad days that you spoke about are basically over with. That's hit or miss. Every once in a while, we'll run into that. The cartels, CJNG and the Sinaloa cartels, they have perfected this into a super lab type of facility to generate, you know, an amazing amount of very good quality methamphetamine that they can churn out in the hundreds of pounds per day. And 99% of that is coming here to the United States. So we know that. All of our partners are aware of that. The focus now is on our good partners down south in Mexico with our DEA offices in Mexico to help us gain intelligence and a better understanding of what the threat is on a daily basis.
We know that the one driver of this load was taken into custody. Are you able to tell me if any other links or types of more arrests have been made from this?
You know, Mario, it's like we said, it's an ongoing investigation. Yeah, there was one person arrested. We're still trying to work through that. Obviously, like any case we do here in the U.S., we try to work it backwards. So we'll see what that leads to. Unfortunately, in a lot of these cases, the drivers have a limited amount of knowledge about what's about to happen until they cross the border. As you see in the movies, that's usually a pretty good portrayal of the actual circumstances. So I can't really get into it right now, but this investigation is ongoing, and we're going to work it back to as far as we can into Mexico and where it was possibly going in the United States.
Interesting. You said that you know, the COVID has limited the amount of crossing, but also kind of interesting that their story was that they were trying to bring medical supplies in that truck across the border.
Yeah, we're not sure if that's a coincidence or that's a, hey, look at us, we're trying to help kind of thing. It wasn't a very sophisticated operation on this one, which kind of tends to make us believe that they were pretty confident they were going to get across the border without going into secondary. So again, thanks to our great partners at CBP for helping us out with this interdiction. And you know, they do a phenomenal job every day. You know, they're standing on that border trying to stop narcotics and illegal immigrants from trying to get into the U.S.
Just in general terms about the DEA, and we don't get a chance to speak to you too often, what can you tell our viewers about what your team is doing to fight drugs and the amount, you know, of boots on the ground and the cooperation you're seeing with your counterparts in Mexico?
Yeah, so, you know, our office here in DEA in DEA San Diego is a medium-sized office. We have about 430, 440 employees. You know, I'll tell you this, Mario, you would be really, really proud of what the folks here at DEA are doing for the people of San Diego on a daily basis. You know, the COVID thing was a speed bump for a minute, but, you know, I can't get these folks to slow down. You know, we try to, well, we do implement, you know, safety protocols, but they won't stop working, and I'm incredibly proud of them. You know, COVID stopped a lot of folks from going to work. Unfortunately, put a lot of folks out of business, but the drug business never stopped. And the reaction to that on the DEA side here and our great task force officers at the Narcotics Task Force has been exemplary. So you're definitely getting your money's worth out of the folks here in DEA San Diego. Like I said earlier, you know, we're taking on a lot of battles at the same time: methamphetamine, fentanyl, Oxycontin. We're also, you know, doing the overdose deaths. We have a team here called Team 10, and all they do is they look into unfortunate folks who have overdosed on fentanyl, and we try to, you know, turn that back on the person who provided the fentanyl and arrest them for homicide charges. So that's something we do in here in San Diego that's not done across the country. That's kind of unique to San Diego and Los Angeles. We're really proud of that. And folks should know that the community is really being looked after to the best of our ability.
And to the topic of, working with your counterparts in Mexico, is there a good working relationship these days?
Sure. I don't want to speak on that as much because we have offices in Mexico that deal with our counterparts on the Mexico side on a daily basis. We have units there that we exclusively work with in Mexico that we trust, and we trust them with our information, and they trust us with their information. And that information is passed on to us on the north side of the border, and we're able to be very effective with that information. Is it perfect? No. But no country are we working perfectly with. There's a lot of politics involved. There's a lot of things going on all at once. But we do the best we can to create those relationships. And we're always looking for a hand to shake in any country that we can. And I think our relationship in Mexico is good and will continue to get better.
Great. And this is the second largest border meth bust in history. When was the first one?
I was just asked that question. I was told it was about 7 years ago, and I think it was here on the border too. But Mario, I don't have that answer for you, but I'll make sure I get that for you as soon as we hang up. But I was told this was the second largest, and the first was 6 or 7 years ago. But, we had a lot going on, and I have a chance to look into it, but I'll get you that information.
Great. Before I let you go, anything else that you want to share with our viewers at CBS 8? I mean, pretty remarkable just hearing you say 430 agents on the ground trying to, take on drug dealers from every type, trying to outsmart you every day.
Yeah, Mario, it's not 430 agents and 430 employees. It's about 180 agents and about 75 task force officers. So the numbers are even lower. But like I said, they can be right 9 out of 10 times. We have to be right every time. But our folks are trying real hard. And I'm really, really proud of what they've done and been able to accomplish, especially during the COVID situation. So here's what I'll say in closing. We have a thing coming up on October 24th. It's called National Take Back Day. Please look it up on DEA.gov. There are many areas here in San Diego that folks can drop off unused and unwanted prescription drugs. And it's on October 24th, which is a Saturday between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. If you can share that with the folks, that's a great help when it comes to the fentanyl overdose deaths and Oxycontin addiction.
Well, I appreciate you talking with us today. Good information.
Thank you, sir. Take care.